Welcome to Real Judaism with Rabbi Klapper. Unfiltered wisdom for Jewish life.
Okay, welcome back. We're here, Chelek Gimel Perek Mum, Kabbalas Shabbos. We've just finished discussing the importance of the Chachonas for Shabbos, preparing for Shabbos, that if a king is coming, we have to be there, ready to greet him. And now, Perek Gimel, we're actually talking about the Kabbalas Shabbos. We are coming to greet the Shabbos. Oid Inyan, we're here on Daf Peches. Oid Inyan Miyuchad the Shabbos, something that is very unique, special about Shabbos. Hu Inyan Kabbalas Shabbos. Kabbalas Shabbos, welcoming Shabbos. We don't have this concept by anything else. We're welcoming Pesach. We're welcoming Shavuos. What are we welcoming? There are any mitzvahs that we're welcoming? Hine lo matzanu Kabbalas Yom Tov Kabbalas Eiz mitzvah acheres. We don't find that there's another Kabbalah of any type of welcoming of any other mitzvah. Or what does this mean? Lamarak Shabbos yesh as an Inyan Kabbalas Ponim. Why is this idea of being Kabbalas Ponim, welcoming our guest, welcoming Shabbos? Where does this come from? What is this? Hine b'chal Inyan Shabbos. When we're talking about Shabbos, the ideas in Shabbos, Roy manu b'divrei Chazal shemityachsim heim el haShabbos keilu ishius. Chazal referred to Shabbos as almost like it's a person. There's somebody there. Kamer Chazal, Amr Shabbos lifnei Kodesh Baruch Hu. Shabbos itself is speaking to Hashem. Ma shelo matzanu came b'shum mitzvah acheres. That there's a issue, a personality here. Chutz mehat Torah atzmo. The Torah sometimes also. The Torah speaks. Shayot tefillin midabrim or mezuzah or shofar. We don't find that the tefillin talks or mezuzah talks or shofar talks. Avalito Shabbos midaberes. A Shabbos bo. A Shabbos olechas. Shabbos is coming. Shabbos is leaving. We're being mekabel Shabbos. Malava malka. We're being malava. We're escorting out the Shabbos. Yeshna ishius anikras Shabbos. There's some personality called Shabbos. And we are preparing for that Shabbos, for that guest called Shabbos, to be mechabed the Shabbos, to do everything for the Shabbos, like we're having a special guest coming. Tzarich bir, we need to understand this better. Mi hi ha'ishius hazu. Who is this personality called Shabbos? Ha'im zois mitzvahs ha'Shabbos atzmo. It's the mitzvah Shabbos. Lama davka b'Shabbos. If it's the mitzvah, so there are a lot of other mitzvahs. Why shouldn't we treat all the other mitzvahs like that? Davka b'Shabbos roim hityachzus b'tzura ishius v'lo b'shar mitzvahs. Why is Shabbos different? Aval emes says Pincus. The truth is, Ishius Shabbos ain't a Shabbos ela Shechina kedosha. Shabbos is not the personality. It's what's coming in on Shabbos. It's the Shechina. The Shechina, Hashem's presence. Obviously, Hashem is echad. Hashem is completely one. All of the different midos of Hashem are just midos. They're different aspects, different ways of us learning what is Shabbos and what isn't Shabbos. There's something special, unique about Shabbos. A specialness about Shabbos. But the Shechina is something that is very unique. It's very, very unique about HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's the way HaKadosh Baruch Hu puts himself into the world that we can feel. We can feel HaKadosh Baruch Hu. For example, when we had a Beis HaMikdash, when we had a Mishkan, obviously HaKadosh Baruch Hu fills the entire world, the entire universe. We are in HaKadosh Baruch Hu. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is not in the world. We're in HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But yet, there's something special that Hashem wants to make his presence felt by us human beings. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu brought his Shechina. The Shechina is the way that we feel HaKadosh Baruch Hu in this world. And we can see HaKadosh Baruch Hu, we can experience HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That Shechina, that aspect of HaKadosh Baruch Hu that he wants to show us, that he is here with us, that was in the Beis HaMikdash. That was in the Mishkan. And that's what it means. That's what's coming in on Shabbos. On Shabbos, we have HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Shechina here is with us. And that's what it means, the issues. That there's someone coming. That's the Shechina. Hashem himself is revealing himself on Shabbos. Shabbos is Shmo Shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shabbos is the name of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Masha Oimrim Boi Kala. When we say at the end of Lichadoidi, Boi Kala. Two different nuschos, whether you say Boi Kala, we're welcoming the Shechina of Boi Kala or Boi Kala Shabbos Malchasa. The Shabbos Malka. The Queen of Shabbos. What's the Queen of Shabbos? What's the Shabbos? The Malchus of Shabbos? HaKadosh Baruch Hu himself. Hainu Klapper, Shechina, Akdosha. Kabbalas Shabbos, Kabbalas Shechina. That's what who are we welcoming. We're welcoming Hashem Himself. Like I said, Hashem is everywhere. Hashem is everywhere all the time. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants his presence to be felt. It's not just we are sitting here, we're talking. Hashem is right here next to us. He's here, he's listening to us. When we're sitting and learning Torah together, the Shechina comes to a certain degree. But on Shabbos, even if you're not sitting and learning, the Shechina is here. The Shechina Kadosh Baruch Hu makes his presence felt. Right? The Mishnah in Avos talks about how many different people are learning, if there are 10 people learning, if there are 5 people learning. Kadosh Baruch Hu wants to come and listen to that. Even though he's here, what does that mean? He's here anyway. Kadosh Baruch Hu is here anyway, yeah. But the presence is felt more. When you're sitting and learning Torah, do you know what's happening? You're listening to the words of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Learning Torah is HaKadosh Baruch Hu speaking to us. Shabbos is that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is here. That's what it is. That's what Kabbalas Shabbos is. Hakol kimosh yitzbar b'kol hakunshos hazeh. Dakol mahus haShabbos hi sha'olam kulo shuvah al yedei gilui inyan chidush ha'olam. This whole idea, this entire sefer called Shabbos Malchus is surrounding this idea that on Shabbos everything stops, and we have this idea of yesh me'ayin, that we're being mechazik, we're strengthening our belief in the chidush ha'olam, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu created the world. And that HaKadosh Baruch Hu brought Himself into the world on Shabbos. V'nishar Hashem levado b'yom HaShabbos. And only HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Everything else stops on Shabbos. It's only HaKadosh Baruch Hu. V'ishu shel Shabbos hi Hashem yizbarach mesher shchinaso b'soicho derech HaShabbos. That's what it means. That means it's like HaKadosh Baruch Hu sitting here together with us. Nimsa shekasher nichneses HaShabbos. When Shabbos comes in, yichud Hashem yizbarach makit v'kol mitzias ha'olam. It's a boom. It's a boom. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is here with us. Everything else stops. Hashem is here. And that's what it means. Kabbalas Shabbos. Kabbalas Shabbos. That's what it means. If HaKadosh Baruch Hu is coming in, He's coming in the door. He's coming off the plane. He's coming on the tarmac. You know, we have to be there. We have to be there. We have to be ready to greet Him with song. We have to be able to greet Him there with simcha. That's what it means. Kabbalas Shabbos. You can't be makabel a mitzvah. A mitzvah is a commandment. HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants you to do this. Okay, so I'll do it. HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants me, I'll do it, and I'll do it with simcha because it shows that I care about the Ratzon Hashem. But this is different. That's not issues. It's not like greeting a person. I'm doing the will of Hashem. That's a very important thing. It's a very, very choshev thing. That's the purpose. We're here in this world to do the will of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But this is something different. This is something much on a different level. This is actually Hashem is here. Like the Pesach says in Malachi, it says, if I'm your father, are you being mechabed me? Where's my kavod? About Shabbos, kodesh mo'ash al Kadosh Baruch Hu, Kabbalas Shabbos, hi Kabbalas Shechina. Shabbos is where we're showing HaKadosh Baruch Hu, we're here, we're ready to greet you. We're ready to greet you. And this goes very well together with what we did before in the previous parak. In the previous parak, we discussed you have to make all those preparations. If we're going to greet Shabbos properly, I have to be ready. I have to be ready. I can't be running to shul late. I can't be last seconds. That shows kavod for the Shechina coming in. So now here we're starting Ois Beis, the second part of this parak. What is the halacha l'maisa of Kabbalas Shabbos? So he brings from the Brisker Rav in his Perish al Torah. There are 3 halachas when it comes to Kabbalas Shabbos. They are opposite these 3 ideas that were by Matan Torah. I believe we discussed this in the past, maybe by Shavuos we discussed this. With Timsis Dvarav Haim, what are just a shortened version of what these ideas are by Matan Torah when HaKadosh Baruch Hu revealed Himself on Har Sinai to give the Torah to Klal Yisrael. The Matan Torah Amr B'nai Yisrael Retonali Rose and Malkeinu. Klal Yisrael said, "We want to see our King." It's an amazing thing. Klal Yisrael, I don't know what you call it, chutzpah maybe, that they said, we want to see our King. If our King is giving us the law, not just He's giving us the law, He's creating a relationship with us. Kabbalas Torah was much, much more than just their set of rules. Kabbalas Torah was a kesher shel kayamo. Kabbalas Torah that we were bonded to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that we're becoming HaKadosh Baruch Hu's nation. And Klal Yisrael said, we want to see our king. We want to know that we have a true loving kasher with him. Well, you have to be prepared. You want to see your king? You gotta be prepared. So what does it say over there? HaKadosh Baruch Hu says to Moshe, go to the nation. Prepare yourselves. Clean yourselves. Clean your clothing. Be prepared on the third day. And Moshe went to tell the nation, you got to prepare. Once the nation says, we want to see our king, we have to be prepared. You want to see the king? You can't just show up. You got to prepare yourselves. See the king. There are 3 halachos that come out of here. Number 1, chiluf begodim. You need to put on a nice clothing. Like it says over there in the pasuk, kivsu simosechem, you have to clean your clothing. You have to be wearing nice clothing. Over there, maybe it was a reference to being matire them. But certainly it means you're coming to greet your king. You have to be prepared. You have to be wearing your most mechubed begodim. Matan Torah was the greatest event of all time. The greatest event when HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave the Torah to Klal Yisrael. The greatest event of all time. So that's number 1. Number 1, we need to change our clothing. Our clothing has to be proper, mechubad, in order to properly honor the Kabbalah, the greeting our king. That's number 1. Number 2, she'amuchanim v'lo trudim v'asukim kasher tavo Shechina. You can't be busy with something else. You have to be waiting. You have to be there waiting. Even if it takes him longer, you have to be there already. You can't show up late. You got to be waiting for them, not he's waiting for you. That's what the pasuk says, that you have to be there waiting on the third day. You have to be prepared. We need to be prepared. And the third, Shechina. We need to go out to greet the Shechina. That's what it says, that Moshe went out to greet Hashem. These are the 3 halachos in the Tzrachos of Kabbalas Shechina. These are the 3 halachos that we need to be makabel the Shechina. So brings the Maran, the Brisker of the Kabbalas Shabbos. This is also true by Kabbalas Shabbos, that we find these 3 halachos. The first one, like we said, you have to change your begodim. You have to be wearing nice clothing. You have to be wearing mechubadika clothing. It is so sad. It is so sad that people are treating Shabbos like it's just a vacation day, like it's Memorial Day, this is my off day. I can dress however I want. That's not what Shabbos is. Shabbos is to greet the King. Shabbos is to greet the King of the world, the King of the universe. That's what it is. It's not a day for me to let it all hang out. It's not a day for me to come in my flip-flops and shorts. That's what Shabbos is. Shabbos is not a day for me just to be loose. Shabbos is the day to be makabel pnei Shechina. You're missing the whole point. You're missing out on what Shabbos is. We have to be mechubad. We have to stand when the king is coming. This is not like, some would say, the presidents of nowadays, even though the presidents also, they wear suits and ties, and if you would greet them, you probably would wear one too. But maybe there's some people out there that don't have enough kavod for the presidents to do such a thing. Maybe. But if you're coming to greet the Tsar of Russia, you're going to dress properly. If you're coming to greet the Emperor of Rome, or the great Pharaoh, or once upon a time, the great kings who had the ability in a split second to end your life, which Be'ez Hashem will talk about later on, what it means, the protocol in front of the king, you would dress properly. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is not only no less than that, he's much greater. A person has to know, we need to dress properly when it comes to Shabbos. That's the first one. Hashniya, Masha Ratz B'Rishus HaRabim L'Pnei HaShabbos Nikar Ratz B'Rishus. There's halacha, it's brought down in Baba Kama, that if a person is running on Erev Shabbos, so then that's called running B'Rishus. It has a nafkamina with regards to if there's some kind of damage that's caused from running, he was allowed to run. Mishum halacha shel bo b'natzelik ratzah Shabbos kala malkasa. Because I need to be ready. I need to run on Erev Shabbos. I can't waste time. On Erev Shabbos, you have to run. On Erev Shabbos, you can't waste a second. You can't just spazier and do whatever you want. The person has to be ready. Shabbos is coming. You have to be ready. So that's the second halacha. And it comes out halacha l'mais and with regards to damages. And the third, You have to actually go out and bring in the Shabbos. And that's what we do. We do Kabbalas Shabbos. We sit and we sing and we say L'chadoidi. L'chadoidi l'kras kala. We're going to bring out, to bring in the kala. And at the end we say Boi kala. We say Boi b'shalom HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bring the Shechina in. That's exactly what's happening. That's what we do. It's amazing. The same ideas, the same things that we had to do in order to get the Torah are the same things we do to be Mekabel the Shechina on Shabbos. And it's really, it makes perfect sense. The reason is because both of them are bringing Mekabel b'Shnei Shechina. It's an amazing thing. We're going to see later on in the Sefer that Shabbos is mamish like the Beis Hamikdash. When you were in Shabbos, it's like we're in the Beis Hamikdash. It's an amazing, amazing thing. And take it seriously. We have to take this seriously. This is real. This is real. It's a fantastic idea. We are being Mekabel Pnei Shechina in a very similar way to Klal Yisrael by Har Sinai. What comes out, Rabbi Pinkus says, when unfortunately there's some women who are not yet prepared for Shabbos for whatever reason, and then when they light candles, they're not wearing their big day Shabbos. They're not wearing their clothing for Shabbos yet. Shows big day Shabbos rak achar, and they get dressed for Shabbos only afterwards in order to have a meal. The MS ain't a davar nachon klal. They're doing the wrong thing. They're doing the wrong thing. Halacha shall big day Shabbos. Hi halacha b'Kabbalas Shabbos. The idea of wearing big day Shabbos, of wearing your beautiful clothing for Shabbos, is when Shabbos comes in, not after Shabbos comes in. The Kabbalah Pnei Shechina b'begodim yuchadim. The whole idea is that when the Shechina comes in, I'm prepared, I'm dressed. That's where this whole halacha comes from, and that's what it says mefurish in Shulchan Aruch in Siman Reish Samach Beis. Yilbash begadav anoim v'yismach v'bias Shabbos. Put on your beautiful clothing and be happy when Shabbos comes in. So you're going to light candles. You're coming to bring in the Shabbos. You're accepting Shabbos. You're making the bracha on the nearest Shabbos. But you're not ready for Shabbos. We're not dressed for Shabbos. I understand it's difficult. Everybody is difficult, especially on the short Shabbosim. It's very, very difficult. But we have to understand what is happening over here. What a person have to do? Do they need help? Do they need to start earlier? Maybe ask their husbands to come home a little bit earlier. Rabbi, Parnasa, whatever. You know what? You have to realize Shabbos is the Makor Barucha. We're Mechabed Shabbos. We're going to get the Parnasa. That's exactly what we're going to get. We're going to get the Parnasa, because where do you think the Parnasa comes from? It comes from the Shechina. It comes from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu on Shabbos, that's the Makor Barucha. That's why we sing in L'chadoidi. We're coming to greet the Chosan and Kala, like we discussed in Chelek Beis. The Chosan's coming in. The Rabbi Chanina mit'ate v'kai b'panyo ma'al yishabas v'amar boi b'nei tzedek ras Shabbos malchucha. It says, the Gemara says about Rabbi Chanina that he would get dressed and he'd go out. We're going to greet the Chosan, the Kala. They're coming in. They're coming in. You're not going to be ready for that. You're going to have to change your clothing. How can we wait till the last second? Ukana malkum lo'oyer, says Rabbi Pinkus. I understand this is a hard thing. We're going to have to accept this idea. It's an amazing thing, but it's hard. We can be mechazik ourselves. Kana mokum lo'oyer al'achono shel rega akronim knisas Shabbos. We have to discuss over here an important thing. Why to wait till the last second? It's a big nisayon. It is a big nisayon. It is tremendously difficult. Somehow, no matter how late Shabbos is, this difficulty keeps happening. But certainly in the early Shabbosim, when Shabbos comes in early in the winter, obviously depending on where you live in the world, it could be even earlier. Even after Shkia, sometimes people are still moving things around that they shouldn't be, muksa items, they shouldn't be touching them. This goes against halacha. Kamosh Kosav Rambam, Perek Vav, Rambam says it clearly, in Hilchas Chovel Mazik. And if on Erev Shabbos you're allowed to run fast in order to prepare for Shabbos, in order that Shabbos couldn't come and you're still busy. And in Hilchas Shabbos also, later on in Perek Vav, it says, person be sitting with seriousness and understanding, be Kabbalas Shechina, Kamoshu Yotzi Likras HaMelech. Hainu shebisha Shabbos nichneset tzarich she'aponu mechak lebo Shabbos she'u Kabbalas Shechina. We have to be ready to be Kabbalas Shechina. Hinei kama rechoikim anu mehamesupar ala boseinu eich shayu gormim mit the kol hachonos kabar bechatzot erev Shabbos. There were some people years ago, maybe there's some people still around like this. They were done. They were ready by halfway through Friday. Hours before Shabbos, they were ready. So obviously, there are certain situations that people are late. Things come up. Erev Shabbos, we never know. Not so long ago, I had a levaya on Erev Shabbos, and it makes things a lot more difficult. But the question is really, what is our general anhaga? Things happen here and there, I understand. But what happens every week, week after week after week? We can have excuse every single week. We have to change the way we do things. It's so important. It's so important, Chevra. There are two ideas here. The first one, the king is coming. The king is coming. We have to be mechabed him. There's a second idea over here. If we really want to have a real appreciation for Shabbos, a quality Shabbos, then it's dependent on what we're putting in, and are we ready to properly greet the Shabbos? Just Kedusha Shabbos ein biyadeinu lasig al yedei shum hishtadlu shenuchol lomar ashlim hishtadlus achar kach b'meshech halayla b'yoyim shezeh biyodo shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Everything is in HaKadosh Baruch Hu's hand. That if we, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives us the Shabbos, and it's all from Him. Everything comes from Him. The only thing that we can do is be welcoming. The only thing that we can do is prepare. Sharak Hu Yisbarach Mekadesh Shabbos. The actual Kedusha, what comes in is from Him. Only through our Hachana can we get everything that HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants to give us. So this is all we have, Chevra. This is what we have to do. We have to prepare. We want that Kedusha. We want the quality Shabbos. We have to prepare properly. And we have to prepare early enough so that we're not rushed. So when it comes time for L'chadoidi, we have energy. When it comes time to accept the Shabbos, to light those candles, we're ready. We're ready. B'simcha Rabbah, we're dressed. Everything is prepared. Is it challenging? Yes, it's challenging. But this is a tremendous avodah. And if we do it, not only will we have such an incredible appreciation for Shabbos, but Shabbos will affect us more. We'll get so much more bracha and ruchnius and gashmius. Shabbos is the makor bracha. Now we're in Ois Beis here. Ume'ata gam be'inyan ha'achona miuchedet rak l'Shabbos kodesh lama davka b'mitzvah Shabbos yesh et chiv ha'achona v'hu gam ke mipnei tam zeh sha'Shabbos hi k'biyochol ishios mamshis v'lo mitzvah ma'aseh greda. We said earlier in this parak that it's not just that Shabbos is coming, we have to prepare. There's a certain aspect of it's like a person coming here. Moshel le'echad shelifnei chag ha'Pesach shekoach shochach le'achin mitzvah v'yayin le'leil seder. He brings a moshel over here. Imagine a person before Pesach, so involved with preparations, cleaning and cooking, they actually forgot to buy wine and matzahs. Imagine, that is the Seder. Matzah is the mitzvah d'oraisa. It's a mitzvah min Torah at the Seder di matzah, and a person forgot to buy matzah. It's amazing. He forgot to buy matzah. How could that be? And wine. He's so involved with everything else that he forgot. Ain't safek she'hoylech l'shchino. We understand when he goes to his neighbor, the vakesh, to ask him, "Kama matzahs can I borrow some matzahs?" You don't have matzahs? That's crazy. How could that be? Okay, maybe I ordered matzahs and I opened them up and they were all shvurim. They all broke. I got the thinnest matzahs and they didn't have 3 whole matzahs. Fine. Person forgot totally the matzahs completely. Imagine. You know how embarrassing that is to go to your neighbor and say, I forgot to buy matzah and wine. Can you have any extra for me? That's incredibly embarrassing. Right? But okay, I'm going to do it. And at the end of the day, what's going to be at the end of the day? Is he going to be Mekayim the mitzvahs? Yes, he'll end up eating the matzahs. He'll be embarrassed, but he'll end up eating the matzahs. And end up drinking the wine, and he'll be Mekayim all the mitzvahs. It may not have been so fun to go to his neighbor and ask for it, and he's going to be embarrassed. But sof sipur, he's gonna have be mekayim the mitzvahs. Alim hodilos man nikar al bias oireach hashuv al beisel. But let's take a little bit of different spin on it. Let's say it's not the matzah. You didn't forget the matzah and the wine. Let's say you had a very, very chashuv guest coming to you. You had one of the gedolei ador. One of the gedolei ador was coming to stay by you for Shabbos. Amazing. They're coming to the town. He's staying by you. If this guest shows up and he finds out you didn't prepare at all, there was no preparation for you. You totally forgot that he was coming. There's no bed prepared. There's no bed at all. They're going to have to scrounge around. The whole house is a big mess. There's no food. You did not prepare at all for this guest. Even if right now you're going to run to your neighbors and this, and in the next half hour, everything will be ready. Everything will be ready. It'll take me a half hour. The bed will be ready. The house will be clean. You'll have tremendous food. It might not be homemade from here. You'll get from somebody else. In a half hour, everything will be done. So now you have everything. So is that okay? The insult was already done. The fact that you forgot, the fact that you didn't prepare, the half hour afterwards, when everything is prepared, you already lost it. It's over already. Yes, now you have everything. Physically, you have everything for that person, for that special guest. But the insult, didn't care enough to remember that you were coming. Something that's chashuv. Yeah, people forget things here and there. Yeah, I understand. If something is really important to you, you don't forget. That's what it is. If you have a flight because you need to go to Eretz Yisrael, you don't forget that you have that flight. That doesn't happen. Oh, I forgot. I didn't pack. I didn't do anything. You forgot totally. Something is super, super chashuv to you. Something is super important to you. You don't forget about that. You have an interview with a big, big firm that you're going to have you either get a job with them or you have a multi-million-dollar deal. You're not going to forget. When this person comes, when this guest comes, and you didn't prepare anything, even if a half hour later, everything is done, the insult is already there. You can't take it back. By the matzah and the yain, yes, you're embarrassed, but at the end of the day, there was a mitzvah. And you were mekayim the mitzvah. You did the mitzvah, and that's all that matters. The hachana for the mitzvah, it would be good. You missed out on that. But the ikar was the mitzvah. The ikar was the mitzvah. You were mekayim the mitzvah. You got it. But if you didn't, the whole kavod for the areach, when the guest is coming, you missed out on everything. That is Shabbos. That Shabbos. How could a person forget? I'm here at the top of Daf Tzadi Aleph. Let's say a person forgot to prepare the hot water urn for Shabbos. He wants to have tea, always have tea, but he forgot. It's not that you cause tea. It's not that you're missing the tea or the special cake for Onik Shabbos. Shabbos doesn't need the cake. It doesn't need the tea. But a baskol comes out and says, if I'm your father, why are you not being mechabed me? It's an insult. It's an insult because the Shechina is here and you didn't prepare. Where's the chashivas? Yes, the Shechina is here already. So a half hour later, it's too late already. That's what Shabbos is like. It's like a person. That's why we treat Boi Kala. The Shechina is here. It's I had a special guest here and I didn't prepare. It's not just embarrassing that I needed something and I totally forgot. Something very chashuv I needed and I forgot. It's something bigger and deeper than that. You forgot that there's a chosin and kala staying here and there's Shabbos Sheva Brachos. You forgot you weren't mechabed the chosin at his own chasana. You forgot to do that. You lost all. Oh, I'll do it afterwards. Just the forgetting itself is so hurtful. Everybody understands the differences between ben adam lamakom ben adam lachavero. Sheyesh lanu harhergesh b'mitzvah ben adam lamakom. Ikar ha'avoidi hi ba'avur hasagas ha'etrog atzmo nimsa ikar da'agaso hi beino lebein atzmo. Let's say yidei choiva avakasher oisik in adam achar harei margish hu et kavod azulas. When it comes to a ben adam lamakom, when it comes to a mitzvah like esrog or neros Chanukah, which is the rabbanon, but shofar, I have to do the mitzvah. The truth of the matter is, it's great to be mechabe the mitzvah. It's a great thing to be mechabe the mitzvah. That's a tremendous mila. I want to have the most beautiful esrog, tzitzis, tefillin, and kriyashma. It's a very important. These mitzvahs are super chashuv. The ikr of the mitzvah, though, is the mitzvah itself. That's the ikr of the mitzvah. When it comes to the mitzvah bein adam lechaveiro, it's not just that I give tzedakah. Yes, you could just do that. The Gemara says that when you give tzedakah, you get a lot of brachos, but you give tzedakah with a smile. You give tzedakah with a nice word, with an offer of, somebody comes to your door and, collecting something. Can I offer you a drink? Do you need something? You want a cookie? You want something to eat? Or maybe they're circling around. Maybe they're hungry. That bein adam lechaveiro, that feeling of caring, is what's so different about mitzvahs bein adam lechaveiro. Obviously, HaKadosh Baruch Hu needs to know that we care about his mitzvahs. We're supposed to be mechabed the mitzvah. But when it comes to mitzvah bein adam lechaveiro, that's the essence of the mitzvah. The gemilas chasadim that the whole world stands on is not just that I helped you out with something. It's the smile that comes with it. It's the good feeling that comes with it. Nobody wants to feel like a nebuch. Nobody wants to feel like, you're just helping me because I'm such a loser. Nobody wants to feel like that. I'm picking you up. I'm making you feel good. I'm smiling at you. I'm giving you a good word. Those things are what that we pick each other up. That's the essence of a mitzvah ben adam lechaveiro. And that's what it means. That's what it comes Shabbos. Shabbos, even though it's ben adam lemakom, but it's kind of like a ben adam lechaveiro. That's the idea that the issues, there's a person here, that there's a being over here, the Shechina. We're treating the Shechina like a person. We have to feel that love, that connection. The person's coming. And here we are in the last paragraph on Daf Tzadi Aleph, and we'll finish up today. Lamana emes har ergesh azeh shekerhu. Sheikar inyan ben adam l'makom tzarich sheyeh klapi aboyer atzmo lahargish kavod azulat avinu mishabah shamayim. Here he says over here that really this feeling, the differences between ben adam l'chaver, what's wrong. You should be treating Hashem this exact same way. Every mitzvah that we do, we should be feeling that we're getting closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Just like when I'm giving tzedakah and they do it with a smile and I help to pick up the person and they do a chesed, I'm helping the other person out, which is a tremendous mitzvah. But the ikar is the feeling that the person knows, he feels the kesher, the love of every Jew to each other, and I can feel it when the person's doing the chesed. It's the same thing with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't just want you to do the mitzvahs because you have to do the mitzvahs. HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants that kesher. He wants to feel the love. He's our Father. And Rashi says, the mitzvah of V'ahavta kamocha, which is the essence of all bein adam lechaveiro. You have to love your brother like you love yourself. Rashi there explains it's referring to HaKadosh Baruch Hu too. With HaKadosh Baruch Hu also, we have to love HaKadosh Baruch Hu the same way. Al ta'avor al davar of sharei alecha sanui she'avor chaverecha al davarecha. Don't do something against the will of HaKadosh Baruch Hu that you wouldn't want to be done to yourself. We have to treat HaKadosh Baruch Hu in the same way we treat him ben adam lechaveiro. Kach b'diuk tzarech lekayim es kol haTorah kula. That's how we have to be mekayim the whole Torah. When I'm doing a mitzvah, it's because HaKadosh Baruch Hu is my close friend, my Father, and I love him, and I want to do for him because I want to get that close connection. Amnam ha-mitzvah ha-madgisha zoisim yuchad, but the mitzvah that personifies this idea more than anything else, any other mitzvah, is Shabbos. Is Shabbos kodesh zu kol mitzvahs Shabbos. Because that's the essence of Shabbos. Masha HaKadosh Baruch Hu nimtza itanu mamish. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is here. It's like he's my friend. Obviously, he's not just my friend. He's much greater than my friend. But I have that loving kesher. I'm greeting like he's a chashuv guest. All the preparations that I put into Shabbos is because of my personal kesher with him. How careful I have to be. Every single detail is set so perfectly because I have this hush of guests. I'm not missing anything. so I can be mechaber HaKadosh Baruch Hu properly, because I want to make that cash. I want to bring up not just him, but me. I want to show him how much I love him and how much I care about him, and not just because of kavod, because of ava. Melech HaKavod Zela Sheba Aleinu Kiviyochel B'Kavodu B'Atam Midei Shabbos B'Shabbat. So every week he comes to us, our special guest. We want to show him. And that's what Kabbalas Shabbos is. Kabbalas Shabbos, you have a special guest coming, and we want to make that kesher with that guest. The Shechina is coming in. We should be prepared before. Be'ez Hashem, we should all be zoiche to reach these madregas, to feel mamish that closeness when Shabbos comes in. Koach.
Thank you for joining Real Judaism, where we explore Torah's wisdom for real life. Created by J Foundations and produced by Eli Podcast Productions. Find more episodes at realjudaism.org and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts.